Hello everyone, I figured it was time to do a haul and quick review video of my purchases from the Bath & Body Works June 2014 semi-annual sale. You see here there's a mix of different products from the home fragrance division, of course. And I will go through them, tell you sort of my prices, my strategy, and purchase purchases, how I split them down with coupons, and then give a quick review of a couple of the products because some of them we haven't seen for a bit. And then also there's a new one thrown in there. Now, this semi-annual sale in general is really, for me, not been very good, really at all. It's fun for me that they brought back the aromatherapy eucalyptus basil and eucalyptus tangerine, which I will review in a separate video, and I really enjoyed both of those. They were from a separate online purchase they did on the first day of the semi-annual sale. But other than that, they're not really impressing me with their prices, bluntly, what it comes down to. So much, especially with candles and wallflowers and things, are just 50% off, which 2 for $22 is actually less than, or rather is cheaper than 50% off, because with candles $22.50, you're paying 11 or 11.25. 11.25 is 50% off. $11 is 2 for $22. Now, granted, they may go up to 2 for $24, 2 for $25 at some point in the future, but right now, at least, the Sweet Shop collection and Destinations collection and Hawaii collection and all of the collections that came out this spring, at least when I went to the store I went to, they were 50% off. With some failed test scents, actually also at 50%, and then there were the only thing 75% off were candles from last fall, which again, it's disappointing to me that the candles aren't that great of a value right now, and if they want to really clear out an entire store worth of candles that were all sold all spring long, they really need to go below 50%. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that some annual sale value is not there when it's the same price or more that I could have been paying all spring long anytime they're doing a 2 for $22. So that's why I didn't purchase a whole lot. There's some in here that I was excited about, but overall, not a great deal. And for what I paid for everything you see here, kind of actually for a semi-annual sale, boggles my mind a bit. It's a little, ridiculous. Maybe not ridiculous, but it was a little, normally a semi-annual sale haul is going to look this big or bigger and cost significantly less than I paid for everything here. So we'll see. So I did this as 2 transactions. So the first one was for the 2 suntan and the 1 white sand. When I went, I think they might be 10 now, but when I went, they were $11.25, just 50% off. And so with the survey coupon, I ended up paying somewhere right around maybe $32, or 35, no, yes? I can't remember now. Yeah, right around $35 or so, 34 something. So that's, it's not that great of a deal. That's sort of, if they were sold all spring long, that's what I would have been paying, but they didn't come out until the semi-annual sale, so, couldn't purchase them before then. And then the next, and I will smell those and give quick reviews on them as well. But before that, I'll just tell you the other transaction I did was everything else you see here. So the Spice Cider Candle was 75% off, so that was good because it was from last fall. So that was $3.12. Cider Lane 3-wick candle was 75% off, so that was $5 because they were $20 last fall. The suntan candle, most Coastal Cool collection candles were not discounted at all. This one was from the test collection. It was a failed test scent that did not go wide, so that was at 50% off, which was surprising because usually their failed test candles, when they've got enough of them, are 75% off, but these were all just still 50% off. And actually it rang up at full price, and the sales associate wanted to charge me full price, and she said these weren't on sale, and I had to tell her that no, this was a failed test scent, this is on your 50% off table, it's not with the rest of the collection. And of course, she didn't seem to believe me. She just kind of gave it to me because she thought I made a mistake, and she thought she was doing me a favor, which really, just when we're talking about the principle of the thing, gets on my nerves, because no, you should know your store, you should know what needs to be fixed at the register. But I digress. Then we've got 2 2-packs of wallflowers, Kitchen Spice and Seaside Escape, which are both on sale for $5 each. Decent price when it comes to your wallflowers. Getting each for $2.50 is solid. There are times throughout the year where they go as low as $2.50 or $3, so not the best deal ever, but for those 2 cents, it was worth it. Then I got 3 other bulbs. This is where the value was kind of crappy. So 2 Boathouse Row and a Caribbean Escape. They were all $3 each, which again, for me, So many times throughout the year they do a deal of the day at $3 for wallflower bulbs that's not that impressive. They really should have done 75% off, which in the past they always had 75% off wallflower bulbs. So you'd pay like, a dollar or two for them before any coupons, and that was a great deal. Especially when you consider, so Caribbean Escape was from This Is the Destinations collection packaging for that. And then, but Boathouse Row, these two are from, these are over a year old from the Lakeside collection, which again, I love Boathouse Row, that's why I grabbed them. But if they're literally, they were being clearanced out at the semi-annual sale a year ago, they really should be cheaper than $3, because even the color of the liquid in the wallflower bulb there was used to be like an intense, deep kind of dark teal, bluish green, and now it's actually turned kind of dark gray, just because at this point it's so old. So to still be charging $3 for that again is, I don't know where their mind is. Like, do they really want to throw it back into their, storeroom for another year, or for another 6 months until the next SAS, or spend the time and money to throw it to an outlet? Perhaps they do. I don't know. But to me, they really should have been like, maybe these ones $3, but the old ones like that really should have been a good 75% off, if not more. So that's what I paid for everything. Then I found, again, randomly, this here. I guess I'll start my review portion of the video now, not the cost. So anyhow, that was between $3.12 for that, $5, $10, $9 for those three, $11.25 for the suntan, and then this here was $1.50. That was a $40, and then I used the 10 off 40 coupon for that. So it just, it frustrates me a little bit that it was basically like, what, close to 60, it was 35 and 25, so what, like right around $60 almost for this here, when granted, sure, it's better than the retail, it's good sale prices, but for semi-annual sale, this is nothing to brag about as far as the deal that you got, because you'll see, if you look in past years, in my videos and other people's videos, got some fantastic deals with semi-annual sale prices, and because especially with the test store, usually you'll see candles from 1 or 2 seasons ago in addition to the recent season that they're clearancing out, and that you'll get, I remember getting twisted peppermints, in the summertime, getting candles from the winter, so full year cycle ago, and you'd be tables and tables and tables of 75% off candles, which I know, again, that I don't mean that to be a brag in any way, because most stores don't have that, but some of the bigger, White Barn stores will have old stock, and a large amount of old stock like that. So there was, boxes and boxes to go through of candles that they're clearancing out at 75% off. But this here, the 75% off table there were some Cider Lanes, there were a bunch of blueberry pumpkin patch, they had like a random espresso bar thrown in, they had a lot of red velvet cupcakes, which, again, it's like, if you had these sitting in the back room, why did you release it in Sweet Shop Collection when you clearly could not get rid of the candle in the first place from the holiday collection last year? And that's pretty much it. In the mason jars, they had spice cider, a couple sweet cinnamon pumpkin. But yeah, very unimpressive, collection with of candles in the 75% off table. It was a small table. And again, a lot of times they'll do, even if they'll do 50% off for collections from this spring, they would often do the failed test scents from those collections, the handful, the 1 or 2 that don't go wide from each collection, at 75% off. But again, things like lemon cucumber and wild berries, suntan here, Pacific Coast Highway from the Coastal collection, those are all still just 50% off. So again, they really seem like they're in no rush to get rid of them. Now, perhaps, at this point, a week later, they may be going to 75, or at some point soon they'll be going to 75% off. But when I went there, they were still just 50. So wasn't really in the mood to stock up, because it was kind of like, well, these are the prices I've seen for the most part for the past couple of months. But again, I'm rambling. Let's get into the review part of the video, which will be fairly brief because most of these products as they already are. But the first thing that I thought was interesting, I don't think this went wide. They do random, tests things sometimes. Like right now they've got, actually next to this, so I guess they're clearancing them out, they had small boxes of matches, like wooden sort of kitchen matches, but they're actually about maybe 3 inches long, longer than a standard match, with like designs, patterns in the box. They had these sachets. They had just some random products that they're testing out or did test out and maybe just didn't go wide, or they're seeing if there was a market for it. And so this I thought was interesting, and I purchased. It was wrapped up obviously in plastic. It's a scented sachet. There were only 2 scents from the Provence collection: lemon verbena and then wild poppies. And essentially what it is, it's just a paper. This is very like 1990s, I think, as far as like home fragrance or a potpourri kind of thing. It's a paper envelope that is sealed. You do not open it. And what it says here is, our new scented sachets add a refreshing burst of fragrance to any small space, perfect for drawers, closets, lockers, and even your gym bag. Simply remove the plastic wrap, which I already had from the sachet, and set in desired location. Gently shake for an extra pulse of fragrance. And of course, lemon verbena, the luscious lemon scent of the plant that grows on country roads in Provence, inspired a sunny blend of verbena blossoms and lily of the valley leaves. And of course, keep out of reach of children. Do not open this. Do not ingest. They don't say how long it'll last. Figure they're basically like hard plastic beads covered in probably like a waxy fragrance oil, similar to it's a mix between sort of your I'm assuming it's similar to the kind of lasting power that you've got in the wallflowers, but this you can put places. You can put it in your sock drawer, and it smells nice. It's not super strong. The original retail on it was $3, and I paid $1.50 because it was 50% off. It's nice, but it's, as far as these things, like it's kind of weak. I can smell it, but it's not very strong. And for strong lemon verbena scent, I'm not super confident that it'll do a whole lot of fragrancing in a sock drawer. But it was a fun find, something unique. If you're on my facebook.com/TouchTheFireTwice page, you may have seen I posted a photo of an SAS find that was the limoncello candle that was in the packaging of the deluxe or luxury hand soap and hand lotion. The standard 3-wick limoncello candle, but in different labeling that one person mentioned was in the big $200 limoncello sort of collection, basket that they offered for limited time. I guess it was sometime early this spring or even last fall. I don't really remember. But that was there too. But other than that, nothing super unique or very interesting. So quickly, let's just go through, review everything. Spice cider. This is a great standard. I hesitate to call it a must-have for fall, but I would say it's a welcome standard. The notes on it might not, it's a little blurry here, but I can just read them to you. Drink in a delicious blend of apples straight from the orchard, accented by traditional mulling spices and a touch of vanilla. Again, $3, worth it for layering, worth it for sort of decorating for fall, throwing around the house on in different areas. Then we've got Cider Lane. Everyone loves this. It never hurts to pick up an extra of this. As sweet as the trip to the local apple orchard each year, a delicious fall blend of mulled cider, warm caramel, and sweet cinnamon. And anytime you see a sort of a must-have favorite like that, you always wonder, maybe they're not going to come out with it this year. Maybe I should grab one more extra so that, I have a couple in the hopper waiting to go. Suntan here, I won't pick that up, but that is, I think they call it, sun-drenched blossoms, driftwood, and I think, was it neroli blossoms or something? Essentially, it's a beachside from 2011 repackage. I love it. Failed to go wide. This is not the suntan that you see next to it. This is where it's crazy, is that this scent and this scent are completely different. One is the old throwback beachside scent, and then suntan is the original suntan from the Boardwalk collection. So weird stuff. Then we've got the Wallflowers Kitchen Spice. That hasn't been around in the candle for a while, nor has Seaside Escape. Two sort of classic Slatkins. Seaside Escape is a nice, rum with a little bit of, I think there might be some coconut or a little bit of tropical fruits in there. A really nice standard at this point blend for summer that's really great in wallflower form. Kitchen Spice is creamy. It's a little bit of cinnamon, mostly just kind of a creamy bit of vanilla with nutmeg, allspice, just a comforting, warm, almost like a cocoa wheats kind of, or cream of wheat scent to it without it being sugary sweet, which will be nice in the kitchen almost year round. It was a nice fragrance that used to be sort of a core collection scent that was in a fall collection a few years ago and then just never came back. Boathouse Row, loved that in the Lakeside collection last year. It didn't come back this year. Kind of surprised me because it was such a nice, air quote, cologne fragrance. It was like deep waters and sage, moss, some bay leaves, really rich, sort of not even super cologne or super fresh or intense, I don't think, but just really rich and luxurious and a deep fragrance that was heavier than some of your light frilly fragrances in the summer, but very nice balance for like an evening scent. And then Caribbean Escape, not a fan of the candle, but it works in the wallflowers to have a bit of variety, so I'm not, throwing the same things around. I generally have 3 or 4 wallflowers going at the same time, so you end up going through bulbs fairly quickly, and so I wanted a bit of variety to what I already have. And then, of course, the lemon verbena sachet there. And so I'll just quickly talk about white sand and suntan. I think I'll be doing a separate video that does a little bit more in-depth review that kind of talks about the history of each of them, because they're kind of interesting. White sand was originally, like 2011, it was a test scent in a different name. Then it was as white sand, then it sort of was remixed as Meet Me Tahiti, then came back here. So I'll do sort of an in-depth sniff and review on it then. And same thing with suntan, it's had sort of an interesting history from only coming out in the small 4-ounce form with the original Boardwalk collection back in, what was it, 2012, I think. And then, again, never being a 3-wick, then it came out as Poolside last year, then it was in the Destinations collection that this year as Sunny St. Tropez that failed out, and then it came back for the SAS here as Suntan, so, and then you've got the weirdness that there was the Suntan test scent in the Coast Cool in a different fragrance profile entirely. So I'll do, again, a more in-depth on those later, but just the one interesting thing that I found is, and I don't know if this means anything or what, but the labels for the Boardwalk collection that came back, so you got your saltwater taffy, beach grass, white sand, suntan, summer boardwalk. I think that may be it. What is it? White sand, suntan, summer boardwalk, beach grass, saltwater taffy, ice cream shop. Those 6, which ice cream shop I do not like. But the weird thing is they all have, so clearly they're not old stock. We know that they're, newly poured candles. They have the new price in the bottom. They've got the Bath & Body Works silver lids. But the label, of course, is the same. I'm sorry I can't get great. Let me try to get some good focus going here. The label still says Slatkin & Co., which I find really, really interesting. Now, also, even the bottom, Slatkin & Co. White Sand, like the first long days of summer at the beach, sparkling grapefruit and sandalwood with coconut milk and summer jasmine, and then it has the Slatkin & Co. at the bottom at 503 Broadway, as opposed to the Bath & Body Works, Reynoldsburg, Ohio thing. And it's Slatkin & Co. creates the world's best candle, blah, blah, blah. It's really interesting to me that it's labeled as Slatkin & Co. Now, granted, it came out as Slatkin & Co., in the summer 2012, I think it was 2012, or was it 2011? At this point, I totally forget. I think 2012. Collection. But there were plenty of things that came out as Slatkin & Co. that then came out in some annual sale as, like, a re-release that said Bath & Body Works on them. So, I mean, I think, this one, for instance, this is old stock. This one, no, I forgot. That was no longer Slatkin either. But these were released as Slatkin originally, and they came back as Slatkin & Co., which seems weird to me. I didn't think they sort of had the right to use the name anymore. Now, you might say, oh, but it's old candles. The thing is, these are brand new pours. They're just, bringing back the old scent. When they brought back things like Apple Crumble, when they brought back things like Seaside Escape, any candle that came out as sort of the throwback candle last SAS and the SAS before, even I think Ice Cream Shop came back with a weird label, 6 months or a year ago. When they bring back those sort of retired scents with, the old throwback label on them, even those said Bath & Body Works. So I don't know if maybe Slatkin & Co. owned maybe the marketing, sort of the art direction on this with this type of label, that they were calling them that, because it doesn't seem to me that it's because it's, they had the old label sitting around. So I don't know if that means anything. I could be, a candle freak reading far too into this. But to me, it makes me wonder, is there still the possibility that Slatkin & Co. could come around, could still be working on things? Could they be having a renaissance of, sort of a core fragrance team developing unique and new scents? Probably not. But it's something, worth noting and looking towards the future is, you never know sort of thing. And then finally, the amazing, we love it, suntan, like the feeling of bright sun and warm sand, orange flower, yuzu, and coconut husk. It's so strong. It does smell like suntan lotion, which is weird, but just so good. And then white sand I really love. It's funny, white sand I'm getting much more like a Tiki Beach sort of sweet pineapple coconut from this than I used to, which is interesting. But anyhow, we're hitting 20 minutes. You know the sense. If you have questions, hit me up below, or even better, follow me over on facebook.com/TouchTheFireTwice. We'll continue the chat there. And again, I'll do some more in-depth reviews on the white sand and suntan sort of history of in a future video. And then also, I will do an in-depth sniff review on the aromatherapy eucalyptus basil and eucalyptus tangerine. And then in a couple of weeks, we're talking 3 weeks or so, we should be seeing fall test scents in early July, which I'm super excited about. We have no idea at this point what collections are coming, but they are coming. So until next time, take care.